Hi, we are the Vocalize team, and we are in the business solutions category, and our project name is Vocalize. On our team, we have Raul and Swati, who are our lead developers. We also have Omar, who is the project manager, and myself, Guillaume. I am the business developer. So with Vocalize, we are looking to capitalize on the ServiceNow mission statement, which is customer success, consumerization, and of course, the future of work. And what we've done is with 3C Logic, we've incorporated our own experience with telephony, CTI integration, call centers, and create a voice action platform that provides sentiment analysis, voice analytics, as well as automated workflows into ServiceNow based on the assessment of the engagements between agents and end users or consumers. The ultimate goal here is to provide visibility, neutral visibility, into the quality of the conversations as they take place, and to be able to provide actionable data within ServiceNow to understand if a call is going well, perhaps it's going poorly, and what are some of the reactions proactive that can be provided and automated within ServiceNow, so that you can actually continue to keep customer success at the as the leading criteria on how you respond to changes in tone or the conversation itself, and how to draw attention to both good and bad practices, and actually have visibility into the engagement at a level that currently is limited only to the manual notes that an agent might otherwise have or have entered into ServiceNow. So what we're trying to solve with Vocalize is ultimately today conversations are, or the ability to understand the quality of our conversation is limited to manual notes that might have been entered by the agent that received that call, or perhaps to the call recordings that you might have stored within ServiceNow, but that still require you to manually data mine them to figure out which ones were good, bad, or otherwise in contention. With Vocalize, we actually provide the ability to analyze that information. So we will take a conversation, transcribe it, and as a result, that transcription is now available for us to analyze and determine what are some of the proactive steps that we can take in real time towards a responsive, timely response to both good as well as perhaps questionable or in need of review type customer engagements. The idea here is to be able to keep a focus on things that for the time being are largely left to manual intervention. And now you can filter that information, use keywords to understand where you want to draw or provide that focus, and then react accordingly.
So as part of Vocalize, we used OpenFrame, we used performance analytics, we used business rules, script includes, we did schedule jobs, we used REST APIs to get data from outside, from third-party libraries. As part of third-party integrations, we used AWS Lambda, we used their transcribe service, and we used Comprehend. So the biggest challenge was the time. It was like 5 hours, getting everything from AWS, transcribe, Comprehend, getting the text analysis back into ServiceNow, showing it up as in the performance analytics dashboard. So that was the biggest challenge. Everything else was good.
Okay, so what we've built here, guys, is within 3C Logic, we have our own native CTI. The CTI is what actually allows you to bake and field calls. What we're going to assume here is that we've already had a call take place. So you can see that within ServiceNow, we have a history within the phone log table of all the conversations that have taken place. And you can see we've got a column here called sentiment that quickly helps you understand which calls were positive, negative, or otherwise neutral. When we go into one of these specific records, we can apply the sentiment analysis that will tell you basically what was the scoring as it comes to, or as in relations to the quality of the engagement, how much of it was positive, negative, and so forth. And we even provide those numeric findings as data points or objects within ServiceNow. When we apply vocalization, what you can see here is the actual transcription of the call. and you'll see we actually specifically requested that the system highlight specific keywords. Could be terminology like thank you, which is obviously a positive term. It could be foul language. It could be the name of a competitor, or in this case, it could be a product, which is the iPhone. And we leverage or we data mine against that information to ultimately drive towards that scoring. And that scoring is then made available to complement ServiceNow's performance analytics. And at which point we can take that information and understand by agent what was the quality of the call, negative, neutral, positive, and look at it on an hourly basis, on an outcome basis. The idea here is to start spot trending trends and to be able to, okay, for example, data mine or filter the calls and say, look, give me all the calls that are critical based on the qualification or the numeric value of the conversation, the sentiment. And so now all of a sudden you have a list of tasks that perhaps a supervisor is being assigned inside of ServiceNow that have been determined high priority and critical versus others that might be low for them to focus on. And you can see here in the short description, there was a negative call with a customer. It requires a callback, and the individual that's initiating that callback could see the transcription, understand what might be the driving reason or need for the callback. But again, the sentiment is what's driving the ability for them to focus on those calls that require the greatest amount of attention.